Well, welcome to part 2 of the Web Show and our chat with Bob Gordon, who's retiring from the journalism industry, the paper business, after 50 years with the papers and, of course, Channel 9. It's been a pretty awesome career, and yeah, he's done an amazing job, so it's great to catch up with him. Of course, looking back at the history there, working at Channel 9 when he was a young fella, and great to catch up with him and find out a little bit about the paper.
How long have you been on the Gold Coast for now?
Well, I've been here this time 13 years. I misspent a good part of my youth here. One of our great tricks used to be playing third grade for brothers, etc. And you come down on the weekends, and we used to hang out at Broadbeach, and some of the boys were clubbies there. And one of the big tricks was to race from Broadbeach to the Surfers Paradise Beer Garden, the old beer garden, and there were 7 swimming pools privately owned between Broadbeach and Surfers, and we used to go over the fence and into every one of them and swim to the other end of it. These poor people standing there, you know, 20-odd kids came over the fence, boom, up the pool and out over the other. You get arrested if you try to do that now.
Absolutely.
But besides which, there'd be too many swimming pools there.
So what's like a typical day for you then at the Bulletin? Like, how would you explain your day from morning to end?
Morning to end, well, it really starts when I wake up. Click on all the news, see what the radios are running, check the emails and that kind of stuff, see if there's any urgent stuff come in. Read the papers, think about what I'm going to do for the editorial the next day, then usually wander in about 9:30. There's a conference at 11. At 9:30 I wander in and have a word with the Chief of Staff as to what's on, chase up any problems, try and clear the early mail, see what lawyers have sent me frighteners and all that kind of thing, you know. And then 11 o'clock is the first morning conference, and we take what's called a dummy, which is the blank pages of the paper for the next day, and we run through working out what stories are on and how many pictures we need, and I mean that can be, you know, with a weekend paper it can be 200 odd pages, with a ordinary paper it can be 40, 45, 50, 60 pages. So obviously you've got to have enough pictures to go with every page, you've got to have enough stories, and we're very local. So 11 o'clock conference, and then really just get on with what I call hearing confessions, you know, dealing with staff stuff for the next couple of hours, and dealing with the public, and getting out, showing the flag for the company, and also just moving around the town, listening to the gossip, hearing the stories, finding out who's playing around with whom and all the rest of it, you know. And then 4 o'clock is the serious conference, where we all come back together, sit around a table, and you know, the magazine editors and the foreign editors and everyone like that puts up stuff for that night's paper, and we finalise the allocation, and usually it's very different to the 11 o'clock conference. And then post that, take in the evening news to see what they're running with, talk to fellow editors in the News Limited camp, ask Peter Gleeson up in Townsville what he's going with, or what yarns he's got, and then you just you hack through then till say 10:30, 9:30, 10:30, depending on the night, because quite often the paper changes completely about 7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on, you know, what might have come up on radio, TV. You get a whole roll through of foreign news about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and national news, New Zealand news. So you're looking at all those things and balancing around and deciding, okay, you know, and the stuff we might say, we'll leave that to the nationals because we prefer the story about, you know, the bikini girl down at Burleigh or something like that.
As you would, with a big photo.
Why live on the Gold Coast?
So what advice do you have for young people out there that maybe want to get out in a career in the media? I mean, it sounds like it's a fascinating life. You're living the passion of it.
Yeah, well, that's the key. You've got to have the passion. You've got to be a gossip. You've got to be a person who likes telling stories, and you've got to realise it's a vocation. It's not a job. So if you don't feel like we get a lot of dilettantes, you know, who wander into journalism, and really they can't hack it. And I don't blame them. I mean, they have other priorities in their life. They see other things as being more important, and they don't want to be consumed by a lifestyle. But journalism is a lifestyle. It's I always say about journalists is fascinating part about it is we always get a seat at the top table. Mind you, we're always seated below the salt. So that's the kind of, you get to dine with potentates and kings and embarrass yourself at
good stories.
Parties.
Good story.
I remember a government house in Canberra one night where we were guests at dinner, and one of those male things, I sort of looked down halfway through the dinner and realised my fly's undone, and I thought, oh, Bob, you really, government house, formal, black tie dinner, so I'd reached down and tried to zip fly up, and of course as soon as I'd reach down, the woman next door would start talking to me, the next seat, and I kept sort of saying, please look away, and the other thing is, and I invite guys to try this, you can't actually zip your zipper up when you're sitting down one-handed. You've actually got so as soon as there was a break between courses, I sort of darted out of the room, adjusted the underwear and came back in.
Nice.
So I thought after that, right, well, now I've embarrassed myself at Government House in Royal Company. What else is there? Well, that's the the fun of it. I mean,
I'm asking people about chasing dreams and stuff. So I'm assuming it's always been your dream, as you said, to do this.
Yeah.
Is there any other dreams you want to do, or do you feel like you've achieved everything?
I want to go back to Alaska and catch those wild salmon again. I did that with Bernie Power, an old nudgy mate of mine. We were in boarding school together for 9 or 10 years.
Sounds fun.
It was astonishing. Yeah, you get off the boat and hop in a float plane. They treat float planes. Well, float planes are like Holdens there. Everyone seems to own one, and you hop in one and fly over the glaciers and the fjords and down into the fields and try and find somewhere to land where the bears aren't feasting. I said, it's the first time I've been fishing where the guide who was with us was packing a pumback and a shotgun. What's that for,
Yeah.
And I said, well, what happens, if the bears come up? He said, give him your fish.
Exactly.
But it's just, it's a beautiful place and very exciting. I don't think I'd be too keen about being there in winter. I think that might be over the top, but sort of spring, autumn, just great. And it's an adventure land. It really is that kind of place, and I'm looking forward to my son tells me that the best prawns in the world are in Iceland, so that's where we're going on this next cruise. I'm heading up to Iceland, and we're going to have some of these legendary Iceland prawns.
Do some stories and whack them in the paper then and take some photos?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's a lot to do. I mean, being involved with the Aussie Rules Club, Gold Coast Football Club, that's a lot of fun. Still got my secret passion for rugby as an nudgy old boy, and probably do a bit of lecturing and those kind of things. They put editors out the grass.
Great to have it's great to have a chat with you here. Congratulations on an awesome career, and the bulletin's awesome, and well done.
Good luck to you with the rest of your career.
Thank you.